Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Mashood. I am an engineering student from India. I was reading about inflation of currency. Taking interest is haram, but can we compensate for the value of money lost due to inflation? Hypothetically, if I lend 100,000 rupees to someone today, 1 year later, it wouldn't have the same value. If I take inflation rate as 4%, 100,000 in year 2020 would be equivalent to 104,000 in year 2021. These values would be significant over a long period of time, say 10 plus years. So can I take 104,000 from the person instead of 100,000 since they both have the same value now? The question posed by Brother Mashood that if he gives 100,000 to one of his friends as a loan, and since the inflation rate is 4%, after 1 year, can he take back 104,000 because the value is the same of both? When I give 100,000, 4% inflation, now it's 104,000, so is it permitted? No. If you give 100,000 rupees and take back 104,000 rupees, that additional 4% is known as riba. It is known as interest, and this is prohibited. Allah clearly mentions in the glorious Quran in several places that riba, interest, usury is prohibited. And Allah says in the Quran in Surah Baqarah chapter number 2, verse number 270 and 279, that if you give up not your demands of riba, of interest, of usury, then take notice of a war from Allah and His Rasul. So if you involve in riba, Allah and His Rasul will wage a war against you. Riba is the 12th major sin in Islam. So if you give loan and you add on the inflation thinking it's permitted, no, it's haram. You cannot do that. Anything extra you add, it is counted as riba. What you can do, you can give him maybe equivalent, maybe 100 grams of gold. And you know gold value keeps on increasing. Depending upon the inflation, the value increases. If the deflation, it goes down. Well, one alternative is that you can give him gold, whether it be 100 grams gold or 200 gram gold, or half a kg gold or 1 kg gold. And you can tell him that you can utilize the gold, but when you give it back to me after 1 year, you see to it that you give me exactly same weight in gold, same carat, I've got no problem. So the person can take the gold, sell it, utilize the money, again buy the gold for you. That time if he's paying 4% more in buying the gold, as long as he gives you the same amount of gold, same quality of gold, same carat, and same weight, that is permitted. Though I know it's difficult, it is not practical at all to give gold and someone buys gold and he sells the gold and utilizes the money and again buys the gold, but this is permitted. Giving gold and saying give back the same gold to me, you can utilize the gold for 1 year, 2 years, as long as you want, but when you give it back to me, give me the exact same amount, same weight and the same quality. That's permitted. But if you take an amount of inflation, that is nothing but riba, and that is not permitted. The other thing you can do is that if someone wants a particular amount, and if you have some asset equivalent to that amount, for example, if someone wants $100,000 and the apartment that you're living is costing $100,000. So if he wants the money, if you want the money, what you can do is that you can say, I am selling my apartment to you with a contract, maybe for 2 years, and after selling, I will stay in my own apartment and give you rent on that apartment, whatever the rent you decide, and after 2 years, I'll buy back my apartment. So here, if your apartment is worth $100,000, you are giving $100,000 to him, and then you're saying, okay, I'm selling it to you for $100,000, so you're getting $100,000 for him. and then you say that I am renting the apartment which you have bought of mine for 1 year, and you are paying him maybe $5,000, $10,000 a year, or $400 per month, or $450 per month, whatever you decide. And then you can sign a contract saying that after 2 years, I will buy that same apartment back from you, or after 1 year, depending upon the period. But you should see to it that this is drafted in an Islamic way. For this, you have to take the help of a person who is expert in the Islamic finance. There are people, organizations in different parts of the world. You can ask them to draft a Sharia compliant MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And if you plan in such a way, so if your friend wants loan, then you have to buy his house. And then he will keep on giving you monthly rent or yearly rent depending upon as you decide. But it is very important that the drafting of this contract should be Sharia compliant. A layman cannot do it. Someone who is well versed with the Islamic finance and the rules of the Sharia, he should draft this. So this becomes mashallah halal. This is one way how, if you want loan or if you want to give loan, it can be done if Sharia compliant. It is not riba based, because riba is haram, but rent is permitted. So this is one alternative. But adding inflation, that is haram, that is riba, and that's not permitted.